Hello and welcome back. I'm Emily Jean if you're new here, and today I wanted to share some of my recent reads that I haven't done full-length reviews on and probably won't. So if you want to hear about them, grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's get cozy. Okay, so these are books that I've read recently. I think I read most of them and all of them in October, and I didn't do full-length reviews for whatever reason. So the first one that I want to talk about is actually a nonfiction book that I listened to, and it's called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. And it was life-changing? Can we say that? So far. Okay, let's give it more than a month, Emily. Calm down. But so far, it has helped me reprioritize my relationship with sleep and really gave me permission to take those midday naps with my son and not feel guilty about them, and to prioritize when I'm going to sleep at night. This is a book about the science of sleep. Yes, we have an understanding that sleep's important for us, but this breaks it down on a chemical level and a biological level. Why do we sleep? Why, as humans, did we develop this thing called sleep? And why did we develop this thing called dreaming? And why did we develop different phases of dreaming? And what happens when we miss out on a certain phase? And what happens if on either end of sleep we miss some sleep? And it was just so good. I would recommend this for every human. Like, we need to understand sleep on this level so we truly prioritize it. I feel like every government official, every healthcare provider, every medical director, everybody who's making a decision about work hours or treatment needs to understand the science behind sleep and how important it is. Okay, for an example, let me just read this quote from the book for you, okay? It's talking about sleep and it's being a little facetious, but it's saying, what if you heard that there's a revolutionary new treatment that makes you live longer, it enhances your memory, and makes you more creative? It makes you look more attractive, it keeps you slim and lowers food cravings, it protects you from cancer and dementia, it wards off colds and the flu, it lowers your risk of heart attacks and stroke, not to mention diabetes. You'll feel happier, less depressed, and less anxious. Are you interested? Yes. Everyone be like, yes, me, sign me up. Where do I sign? What pill do I have to take? Yes. It's sleep. The answer is sleep. If we give ourselves appropriate sleep opportunity, and the book defines what that sleep opportunity is, and what a appropriate amount is based on science, and also how to support yourself if you're not able to fall asleep. Some realistic things that you can do to support yourself. So, yes, if we have appropriate sleep, all of these things function better. So, this was awesome. I would definitely recommend if you like that kind of nonfiction genre, learning about ourselves, humans, but like biologically too, why things happen. And oh my God. All the stuff on dreams was fascinating too. Why we have REM sleep, why we have NREM sleep, why there are different phases, which mammals have the different phases, how they help us function. It's so interesting. So go ahead and read that. I gave it 5 stars. Like, on Compile, you can't really rate nonfictions the same way, so I just put 10s across the board, because I think for the book that it did a fantastic job, so well explained. So that was 5-star read for me for sure. Highly recommend. Okay, next one. The next one I wanted to chat about was actually a book club read. So this was The Haunting of Maddie Clare. I'm not usually drawn to historical fiction. I don't know why, I just never have been, but I'm glad that the book club chose this one because I ended up really enjoying it. It's by Simone St. James, and it's a little bit of a ghost story mystery, and it was just beautifully written. It was really interesting to get to know the characters. I read it as a physical book and switched it with audio back and forth. So a little bit of mixed. It was just a sweet and spooky read. I ended up giving it 4 stars, 7 for characters. Nothing groundbreaking, but they were really well written. The atmosphere was an 8. I actually ended up loving the historical setting, the way that the community was described, like small community, the farmhouses. That was written really well. The writing was good, 7. Plot was 8. Very kept me intrigued. I wouldn't say, I guessed the whodunit pretty early on, but it didn't ruin the book for me. It was interesting to find out like the specific details around it as we went on. And I love, love two of the main characters that are sort of partnered up in this. And I think this is a standalone, but I would love to read a whole series with them as like ghost hunting duo. That would be really cool. So I would highly recommend this for anyone who's looking for like a quick read that's a little bit ghostly, a little bit mystery. This was a great one for October and kind of those fall vibes. And this one I actually just finished in November, but I read The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. Oh, I'm so glad I read this. It ended up being so enjoyable. I gave it 4 stars. It was so well written that it was like, so if you don't know this one, this is about zombies that are part zombies, part human, the kids specifically. So we're trying to figure out why they're not always zombies, why they have the capacity to think. And it follows this one girl, and she's like locked up in this facility, and it's kind of their journey with the teachers and understanding the virus. And it was made into a movie. I watched the movie after I finished. The movie was awful. Did not like it. I know with movies they have to cut out so much, but I just didn't like the changes that they made. I don't think I would have liked it if I hadn't read the book. The only reason I kept watching was because I wanted to see certain parts of the book and how it was depicted on screen. But the book itself was a really enjoyable read. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And then the last one that I did not finish reading, I DNF'd, but I wanted to chat about with you guys, was The Poison Heart by Kaylin Byron. I already returned it to the library, I think. Oh no, I had this in a subscription box, so I actually have it. Okay, so I have the physical copy. I got this in a subscription box. I decided to check it out. It sounded everything to a T of something that I would enjoy. There are poison plants. There's an herbalist. The plants are used to help heal people. It sounds like physically, emotionally, spiritually. We have a beautiful main character who's like this young girl who's into learning, and there's like this secret part of herself that she doesn't quite understand yet. So it just sounded incredible, right? So I ended up reading about 99 pages. That was all I could handle because I absolutely hated this. It ended up making me so angry, and I haven't been this angry about a book in a long time. And now that I'm about like a month out from reading it or attempting to read it, I don't feel as passionate about why it triggered me so much, but there are a couple things that I did not enjoy about this book. One, it just felt really forced and predictable, and almost like it was just an outline of how they wanted to write the book. How do I describe that? Like, it was a breakdown of a book without it actually being built out or fleshed out. That's the best way that I can describe it. There was just way too much focus on the plants, which I know it's a book about plants, but it was like overly detailed, and then it wasn't even the right information. So there's a part where they step in poison ivy and it's like an instant reaction, like they're instantly breaking out. That's not how poison ivy works. If you're gonna make a book all about plants, at least have the facts correct. I was like trying to pay attention so much. Okay, this plant does that and this does that, and it was a lot of work to try to understand and keep track of all the different plants. And then we get to the poison ivy and I'm like, wait, this isn't even right. That's not how poison ivy works. And so then I was just confused, and I was willing to overlook that. But then I was like, how did the whole editing process, nobody thought? Has nobody ever been exposed to poison ivy? I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up in Maine and there's a lot around. I don't know. But that threw me out. And then also the main character was really slow to learn. Like, if you're going to make this super intelligent young woman who's studying, she spends her free time studying about books, you think that she'd be a little bit more observant or intuitive about her own body and what's going on. And it took her like 3 times to notice that she's impacted by poisonous plants. I guess I should say spoiler alert. I'm not sure if there are going to be too many spoilers, but maybe. Um, 3 times she touched a poisonous plant and she wasn't impacted. And she's still like, I wonder what's going on here. It was just weird. And she's been working with plants her whole life and she doesn't know this yet. It was just weird. So I did decide to DNF at page 100. I kind of skimmed through the rest of the book to see like, okay, maybe this does get better. And then I read a bunch of reviews in GoodReads and it just confirmed that I didn't even want to continue reading it. So that was how I felt about that one. I wished that it was mesmerizing and beautiful, as the book jacket says. If anybody knows of like a good magical apothecary herb witchcraft fiction, please let me know. I loved the premise and I was just so disappointed, especially because it had such good reviews on GoodReads. And that's how I felt. I don't know why. I've DNF'd plenty of other books where I didn't get so emotional, but I think it's because it is a genre that I so love and it had so much potential, and then I was just so let down. So that was The Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. I think she did read The Cinderella's Dead, which does sound really good up my alley, so I might check that out and give this author another chance, but this book was a definite DNF for me. Those are some books I read recently. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for hanging out, and hopefully I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye, guys.